Hello YouTube, this is Bowtied Media, and today I have a review of Gray's EP, Light. This is Gray's second EP, and second actually project in general. They've only put out 2 EPs, the first being Chameleon back in 2017. And there is one coming soon, which is a kind of two-parter with Light being dark. The idea that it's dark gray and light gray. It's a fun kind of play on words. This being Gray's second project is actually kind of crazy because it feels like they've been around for quite some time. So much so that back in 2015 when Zed put out True Colors, there was some controversy or theories around that Gray has actually ghost produced that album. But I'm not here to debate that, I'm here to talk about the EP Light. I like to compare Gray to the Chainsmokers actually. They both have the same-ish similar idea where they put out a lot of radio-friendly music and stuff that's made for big commercial appeals, and are kind of loved by the radio listeners, but hated by critics. I wouldn't say hated, but not really loved by critics for the most part. Both have very similar production styles and use their own vocals predominantly if they don't have a vocal feature for the most part. But I will say that Gray's production and vocal performances are often a little bit or quite a bit better than the Chainsmokers. All the tracks on this project are really, really short, the longest being only 3 minutes and 23 seconds, and the shortest being 2 minutes of actual music time. There's some kind of thing at the end that I'll talk a little bit about later, but it's a very, very short album for having 7 tracks. And the songs all follow the same kind of lyrical narratives with relationships, heartbreak, and love. Nicotine starts off the EP, and I would say it's one of the better ones off of this project. It has a nice kind of almost careless feel to it, and it definitely is a little bit more unique than the other tracks, except for the very, very last one, which I will obviously talk a little bit about later. And overall, while the lyrics and vocal performances aren't the best, I mentioned a little bit about earlier, they don't necessarily need to be. They're not going for the best vocal performance, the best singing performance you've ever heard. It's for that radio appeal. And so in that sense, it's doing its purpose, but it's not, again, not the best. In terms of mixing though, it's actually really, really clean and crisp. The sound engineering or audio engineering here is quite on point, and they do a great job of really highlighting the vocals. But overall, Nicotine is a light-hearted EDM track that is made for commercial success. Deep End is quite similar to Nicotine, albeit a worse vocal performance, and kind of substituting what Nicotine had for a light liquid trap beat. Both songs suffer from what I call the indie trope, where they add at the end of the song a almost iPhone recorded audio in the middle of their mixing or their performance of the song. It's like that they're back in the studio, or there's some stuff around the house that they just have recorded on like an iPhone quality level, and they add at the end of tracks for no apparent reason. It doesn't really add to the narrative of the track, and considering they're going for the commercial success and they're going for wide appeal, I don't really understand why it's here, because people aren't going to be wanting to listen to that, especially if it's on the radio quite a bit. The thing is, it's not even these 2 songs that suffer from this indie trope. It's the entire EP. Almost every single track here has that outro that has a little bit of something here, a little bit of something there, that has a recording from the studio, and it just doesn't work for producers like Gray. It doesn't really fit their sound design and what they're going for narratively and sonically. In terms of where it does work, artists like Eden or Casbo, when they add that to the end of their song, it makes a lot more sense and it fits thematically with what they're trying to convey. With Gray, it just feels like an unnecessary add-on. Radar and Neverland use that same laid-back trap beat, and I'm not really going to dive deep into either of these songs or almost the rest of the EP because it all sort of blends in together. The more you listen to it, the more the songs all sound the exact same. Even the next track, Good, is more of the same stuff. It's lackluster, it's a little more electro-poppy than it is that trap beat, but it's, again, still the same old, and nothing really new is happening with any of these tracks. But the final track actually has some uniqueness to it and use of creativity with Rich and Stuff. And it almost sounds like a 21 Pilots track or an homage to them. It's more of a careless kind of in-your-face attitude that actually works quite well for Gray here. This one definitely feels like the black sheep of the EP, and I think that's what this song was actually going for, to kind of be that one that kind of stuck out and felt a little bit deeper and a little bit more gritty than the rest of the tracks did. And in that sense, I actually kind of enjoyed it. It feels like the most raw and genuine track that Gray put out on this EP, and I'm sad that it was the shortest one on the project. When the EP is all said and done, the single word that I think that encompasses the project is lackluster. Nothing is inherently really bad about it. It's just bland and boring and nothing really happens. I think this project could have been so much better if they took tracks like the first and last, where they took Nicotine and Rich and stuff, and kind of developed those ideas a little bit more and maybe made an EP that revolved around one of the two styles of just those songs when compared to the entire EP. It just, those two felt like they stood out a little bit more and could have been worked on a little bit more to kind of add some more depth and creativity to this project. While Gray has been a pioneer in some areas of electronic music, this EP is making no headway in the grand scheme of electronic music. There really is nothing to write home about. All the tracks aren't bad, but they're also not even great. It feels like a project with little inspiration and direction that is disguising itself as one cohesive project. All 7 tracks in their own way are aiming for commercial appeal, and it just doesn't work for me. Gray's Light EP is going to get a 5. But thank you guys so much for watching. I have been Bowtied Media. If you like this video, leave a like, please. It really helps out. If you disliked, let me know why in the comment section below. Let me know what other music you want me to listen to, and did I get this right? If you like this EP, let me know why. If you didn't like it as well, let me know why. I'd love to have the conversation in the comments below. I read all the comments because I have only 70-some subscribers, so it's really easy for me to respond to you. So let's have a dialogue and talk about it. I will see you guys in another video.